They say love changes over time, and I guess I always assumed that meant it deepened, more quiet nights, less fireworks, more comfort. But in hindsight, I wonder if it just faded into something unrecognizable. My name's Evan. I'm 38, married to Claire for 8 years, no kids yet, but it was always part of the plan. We both had careers, me in IT, her in marketing, and we made a good team. Or so I thought. We weren't flashy, we weren't overly romantic, but we had routines. We had Saturday morning pancakes, late night Netflix, shared Spotify playlists. You know, the usual stuff that makes you think you're building a life with someone. Looking back, the change didn't happen all at once. It was gradual. Subtle. Like watching a picture fade in the sun, you don't notice until it's almost gone. It started with her sudden obsession with health. I think I want to try something new, she said one evening, halfway through a bowl of quinoa she'd insisted we try. A fitness consultant. Nutrition planning. You know, real accountability. Sure, I replied, not thinking much of it. Sounds great. I wasn't exactly a health nut, but I did enough, ran twice a week, kept the beer to weekends. Claire was always slender, always one of those women who didn't need to try too hard to look good. But over the next few weeks, she became a woman on a mission. Green smoothies replaced morning coffee. Gym clothes became her weekend uniform. She downloaded apps, counted calories, joined forums. And she started seeing someone named Damien. Just a trainer, she said the first time I asked. He's helping me clean up my diet and stay motivated. I met him once, accidentally. I had come home early from work, arms full of groceries, and there he was, tall, tanned, the kind of jawline that could cut glass. Claire laughed too loudly at something he said. I stood there awkwardly until she introduced me. Evan, this is Damien. Damien, my husband. He shook my hand with one of those too firm grips and that smile, smug, like he already knew something I didn't. Pleasure, he said. I should have known. I should have seen it. But when you trust someone, really trust them, your brain doesn't register warning signs as anything more than static. The late nights at the gym. The sudden secrecy with her phone. The way she started wearing perfume to her 6 a.m. workouts. One night, I came home and she wasn't there. No note, no text. I waited. At 10 p.m., she walked in wearing a fitted hoodie that didn't belong to her. She looked surprised to see me still awake. Long day, she said. Damien had us do a group session and then some mindfulness thing. Lost track of time. Group session? I asked, trying not to sound accusatory. Yeah, just a few clients. It's not a big deal. But I noticed how she didn't meet my eyes when she said it. That week, I tried to initiate something. I kissed her neck while she was folding laundry. She froze. Don't, she said softly. I'm just tired. I stepped back. Tired, I repeated. She nodded, staring at a pair of leggings in her hands. I didn't say anything else. Just turned around and went into the bedroom, wondering when the last time was that she had looked at me like I mattered. Something was slipping between us, and I was trying to hold on to it with bloody knuckles. Then came the email. I wasn't snooping, I swear I wasn't. But her laptop was open on the kitchen counter, and the subject line caught my eye, this weekend, can't wait, face blowing a kiss. It was from him. Damien. I clicked. I wish I hadn't. It was all their plans for a weekend wellness retreat 2 hours out of town. Just the two of them. A cabin. Hot tub. Healthy indulgence, as he called it. She had sent him a picture. Nothing explicit, but she was in a sports bra, flushed, sweaty, smiling. I closed the laptop. That night, I pretended to sleep as she crawled into bed next to me. She kissed my shoulder like everything was fine. It was the kind of kiss you give someone you've already left in your mind. I didn't confront her that night. Or the next. I kept it all inside, hoping it somehow that I'd misread everything. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe it was nothing. But nothing feels like a knot in your chest, tight and constant. Nothing keeps you awake at 2 a.m., staring at a ceiling you helped paint, beside a woman whose breathing no longer soothes you but slices you open with every rise and fall. I started paying attention, really paying attention. And once you do, the evidence is everywhere. On Thursday, she got up at 5 a.m. and slipped out of bed like she was escaping. Didn't even brush her teeth. She didn't know I was awake. I waited 5 minutes and looked out the window. Her car wasn't in the driveway. She wasn't at the gym either, I checked. I drove there, parked across the street like some low-rent detective, and waited for an hour. She never showed. Instead, I tracked her phone, an app we'd both installed years ago for safety. She never remembered to turn off location sharing. She was in a neighborhood 20 minutes away. Damien's neighborhood. I didn't go after her. Not then. I just drove home and sat in the living room, gripping the arm of the couch until my knuckles turned white. Everything we built, the memories, the quiet mornings, the inside jokes, it all felt counterfeit now. That evening, I said nothing. I asked how her workout was. Good, she said, unblinking. Exhausting. I might shower and go to bed early. She walked away before I could even ask if she wanted dinner. The next few days were a blur. I was sleepwalking through life, pretending, playing the part of the clueless husband while something inside me rotted. And then came Sunday. She told me she had a personal coaching session in the afternoon and might be gone a few hours. Her gym bag was already packed. She wore a tight gray tank top and those high-waisted leggings she once said made her feel too exposed. Now they were practically her second skin. I won't be long, she said. Don't wait up. I nodded and watched her go. Then I followed her. It felt surreal, watching the woman I loved drive through town, taking familiar turns that led to unfamiliar conclusions. I stayed a few cars behind, heart pounding so loudly I thought it would give me away. Sure enough, she pulled into a gated townhouse complex. Punched in a code. Waited. The gate opened. She drove in. I parked on the street and walked up to the entrance. I didn't follow her inside, I wasn't ready for that. But I waited. And waited. 2 hours passed before I saw her again. She emerged with Damien. Laughing. Holding his arm. Not like someone trying to hide an affair, but like someone who didn't care if the world saw. I took a photo with my phone. Later, back home, I printed it and left it on the kitchen table. She came in humming, oblivious. Walked into the kitchen. The hum stopped. Silence. Evan, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. I can explain. No, I said from the hallway. Don't. She turned toward me, eyes wide, mascara barely smudged. A good day with him, I guessed. I didn't mean for this to happen, she started. It just did. How long? I asked. Her lips trembled. 5 months. 5 months. That meant it started around our anniversary. I'd spent hours finding the perfect wine, writing a note by hand. She'd spent the night texting him under the table. You could have ended it, I said. You could have told me. I didn't know how. You're a marketing director, Claire. You know exactly how to say things. You just didn't want to. She didn't deny it. I felt alive, she whispered. He made me feel seen. And I didn't? Her eyes dropped. You stopped noticing me. You didn't ask about my days anymore. We fell into a routine. I thought routine was part of love. I didn't realize you were searching for a fireworks display. She sat down, hands folded, eyes pleading. I never stopped loving you. I laughed, bitterly. You just started loving him too? I don't love him, she said quickly. Then why are you risking everything for someone you don't even love? She looked at the photo again. I thought I needed something more. You had more, I snapped. You had loyalty. You had a husband who trusted you. Silence stretched between us like a chasm. Finally, I asked the question I'd been dreading: did you sleep with him? Her silence was the only answer I needed. I walked out. That night, I slept in the guest room. The house felt colder than it ever had. Her side of the bed was still warm, but the warmth meant nothing now. I dreamed of running. Of never stopping. The next morning, I woke up to silence. No smell of coffee. No shuffle of slippers across the hardwood. Just quiet. The kind that presses in around you like a heavy fog. I got dressed and headed downstairs. Claire was sitting at the kitchen table, still in her robe, the photo I'd left out now crumpled in her hands. "I didn't sleep," she said, not looking up. I didn't answer. "I've ended it," she continued. "With Damien. I called him last night. Still, I didn't speak. He didn't fight it. Said it was fun while it lasted. That's the man I was ready to burn our marriage for." A sad smile crossed her lips. "It didn't move me. I guess I thought he saw me," she said. "But it was never about me. It was about him. He liked being needed." "You didn't seem to mind needing him," I said. She flinched. "I know." There was a long pause before she asked, "Is there any way we can come back from this?" It was the first time she sounded unsure. Vulnerable. Like the woman I married, before she got caught up chasing the high of being desired. I sat down across from her. Not out of softness. Just to face it. All of it. "Claire," I began, "you were my world. My best friend. You could have told me you felt lost. You could have told me I wasn't showing up. I would have listened. I would have fought for you." Her eyes welled with tears. I was scared. "No," I said. "You were selfish. There's a difference." She opened her mouth to respond, but I held up a hand. "You say you ended it. Good. But that doesn't undo 5 months of lies. It doesn't erase what I saw. What I read." She nodded slowly. "I understand. I'm not here to punish you. But I am done trying to salvage something you were willing to gamble for gym sessions and adrenaline." A single tear traced her cheek. She wiped it quickly, like it embarrassed her. "I'll move out," she said quietly. "Give you space." "You don't need to." "I will. I already booked a place for a couple of weeks." She looked up, surprised. "I need clarity," I explained. "Time to think, away from all this." "When will you know?" she asked. "I don't," I said truthfully. "But for the first time in a while, I need to put myself first." That night, I packed a suitcase. Just the essentials: some clothes, my laptop, an old hardcover book I'd never finished reading. Before I left, I stood in the doorway of our bedroom, the place where trust used to sleep. Claire stood behind me. "Evan," she said, her voice barely audible. "Do you still love me?" I paused. "I don't know," I said honestly. "But I know I don't trust you." She let out a quiet sob, muffling it into her hand. I left. The apartment I rented was small but clean. A single bedroom, a tiny balcony that overlooked a grocery store parking lot. But it was mine. For now. And it was quiet, the good kind this time. I started running again. Every morning. Not to escape. Just to feel something other than betrayal. Every step forward felt like a step away from the pain. Some days I'd cry mid-run. Some days I'd feel nothing. Both were progress. I picked up new hobbies. Tried cooking. Badly. Read books I hadn't touched in years. I even started journaling, something Claire had always encouraged but I dismissed. I didn't contact her. She didn't contact me except once, a single email. "I'm starting therapy. Not to win you back. Just to understand myself. Thank you for making me face the truth." I'm sorry I had to break everything for it. I didn't reply. But I read it more than once. A month passed. Then two. The pain dulled from a sharp blade to a dull ache. I ran into mutual friends who had no idea. They all said they were sorry. I learned to nod and move on. I wasn't sure what the future held. Whether I'd forgive her, or if I even should. Whether love could be resuscitated, or if it should be buried quietly with the dignity of what once was. But I knew this: I had survived. I was stronger now, in ways I hadn't known I needed to be. I'd shed the version of me that tolerated lies for the illusion of peace. And in its place was someone I was just beginning to meet. Not broken. Not bitter. Just free.